During the past decade, Sri Lanka's population grew by almost 1 million people. The economy nearly doubled, and the inflow of tourists grew 4 times. Sri Lanka is hoping to soon join the group of upper middle-income countries. These factors make access to sanitation an urgent priority. Sanitation is essential for good health and a clean environment. Already, around 95% of Sri Lankans have access to basic sanitation. Yet, the growing urban population and density pose a challenge of ensuring safe sanitation consistently. In Greater Colombo, only 1/3 of the households is connected to piped sewerage. Most remaining households use on-site sanitation such as septic tanks. To avoid overflow of septic tanks, they need to be emptied or desludged at regular intervals. The emptied septic tank waste needs to be safely transported and treated before disposal or for productive use. Expanding the sewerage network to all areas is quite costly, and it can take many years if we apply conventional approaches. The government is committed to address these challenges and ensure all people use safely managed sanitation services by 2030. This requires new approaches and smart solutions. In recent years, Sri Lanka's national utility, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board, has demonstrated innovative and low-cost models of safe sanitation. A pilot project was supported by the World Bank under the Global Partnership on Output-Based Aid, or GPOBA. Australia and Sweden provided the grant for this GPOBA project as a results-based financing. The grant funding is paid out only after newly connected sanitation systems are used by low-income families, as independently verified by a third party. The project has benefited close to 9,000 households in selected areas of Greater Colombo. It has demonstrated a range of appropriate solutions that offer best value for money. Firstly, in some areas, houses were connected to existing sewerage networks using simplified sewers with smaller diameter pipes laid at a shallower depth, connected to intercepting chambers. Automated pumping stations ensure smooth outflow of sewage into the piped network in places gravity flow is not possible. This has vastly improved the living environment and the quality of life in these communities.
කලින් ඔක්කොම ලයින් එකේ වතුර යන්නේ ඔක්කොම ඇලට. දැන් ඒක වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා ඒ අතින් නම් පිරිසිදුකම ගොඩක් හොඳයි.
These backyards used to be waterlogged and polluted. Today, entire neighborhoods have been transformed.
මුගක් තිබුණේ මී තමයි අර මේ ආනවල තියෙන ජරාව කණ්ඩ එනවා ඇඳ රැයට හික්මී. උන් එනවා ගෙවල් අතුලට. දැන් වතුර නැති නිසා හික්මියොත් නැහැ.
The second innovation involves decentralized treatment of sewage in the neighborhoods. The sewage in this housing scheme in Ratmalana is collected and treated locally using a simple and low-cost system known as DWATS, which was rehabilitated by this project. Here, sewage is treated in an anaerobic treatment unit and then sent through a small wetland where plants and soil bacteria naturally improve the water quality before it is released to open canals. The effluent water has no color or bad smell. Laboratory tests show that the treated water's quality is in fact well above the required standard. The project also successfully commissioned 2 more DWATs in Diyavarapura and Lunava, adopting new designs. The third innovation is public-private partnerships for on-site sanitation and desludging. The competitively selected PPP operator installs precast septic tanks. All the toilet waste is collected in these, and effluent from the septic tank and kitchen is directed to a soak pit. Since the project targeted poor neighborhoods living in flood-prone areas, these tanks have an added filter unit to prevent groundwater contamination. Treated wastewater is then absorbed to the ground through a soak pit, while the fecal sludge is stored in the septic tank. The PPP operator also provides scheduled desludging of fecal sludge. Residents bear part of the cost, and the government pays the balance to the contractor as a subsidy, but only after they have safely delivered the waste to regulated treatment facilities. This arrangement costs considerably less than providing sewer connections. Residents get guaranteed annual desludging services at a cost lower than informal service providers. The PPP institutional arrangement is led by the National Water Supply and Drainage Board in partnership with local government bodies and a private sector operator. These innovative approaches, demonstrated by the project, could help to extend safe sanitation coverage for all in Sri Lanka before 2030. It also paves the way for new thinking and new approaches for urban sanitation in Sri Lanka.